Okay, so for here we want to find the domain of the function f and then the domain and f inverse. So for part A, we want to find the domain of f. So that means that we need to take 2 plus the natural log of x, and that has to be greater than 0. So let's subtract 2 to both sides, so we get the natural log of x, which is greater than -2. And then we're going to exponentiate both sides, so e to the natural log of x, which is greater than e to the -2. So that tells us that x is greater than e to the power of -2. And so therefore, we wanted to find the domain of this function. So in set bill notation, x such that x is greater than e to the -2, or in interval notation, it would be e to the -2 to infinity. And so for part B, we want to find f inverse and its domain. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to find the inverse. So we're going to replace f of x to be y. So y is going to equal the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of x. Then we're going to interchange x and y. So x is going to equal the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of y. And now we're going to solve for y. So we have the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of y, which is equal to x. So what we can do is we can exponentiate both sides. So we have e to the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of y, which is equal to e to the x. And so now that leaves us with 2 plus the natural log of y, which is equal to e to the x. And now solving for y, we can subtract 2 to both sides. So we have the natural log of y, which is equal to e to the x minus 2. Okay, so again, we want to solve for y, so we're going to exponentiate again. So it's going to be e to the natural log of y, which is equal to e to the power of e to the x minus 2. So therefore, y is going to equal e to the power of e to the x minus 2. And so therefore, f inverse of x is going to equal e to the power of e to the x minus 2. So the next thing we want to do is we want to find the domain of f inverse. Okay, well, recall up here, right, this is the domain. So what would the range of this function be? So what is the range of this function? So the range of this function is any real number, and we can confirm that by using the graph. So here, let's take a look at the graph. If we have the natural log of 2 plus the natural log of x. Okay, so there's no restrictions here for the range. So that means you can put in any number into this function for the range. So the range is that the y values where y can be all real numbers. Or we know it can go from -infinity to +infinity. Now recall that the inverse, you flip the range in the domain. So the domain is going to be the range. So the domain here is going to be all real numbers. So that means it's going to be x such that x is all real numbers. Or it's going to go from negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay? And so what would the range then be? Well, the range is going to be the domain of that function. So the range of inverse, of f inverse, would then be the following. It would be what we have up here. And so this would be the range of f inverse. And so recall that the range then has to have the y. So it'd be y such that y is greater than e to the negative 2, or e to the negative 2 towards infinity.